I'd love to know how you are, but here we are, screen to screen. So let's go through a quick flow, and I hope you feel better by the end. Warmed up, energized, and hopefully also taken through a relaxation at the end. So find your way to the front of your mat. Have blocks handy if need be, and set your feet to hip width positioning. And then reach your arms up when you're inhaling. As you go to exhale, sit down, put your hands to your thighs. When you inhale, push your arms straight and arch your back. When you exhale, keep pushing your arms straight and round your back. Inhale again to arch. Exhale to round. So in other words, a standing cat-cow. How much can you move your entire spine, your shoulders, your hips, while the legs basically stay in a chair pose? Something light. Speaking of, after you've rounded, flatten your back, or see if you can be in between, where you're not arched, you're not rounded, somewhere in the middle. And hands can stay, and make sure you're not gripping, or they can float out in front of you, or you can reach them out higher. You can even put them together at your heart if you prefer. Maybe you sit further back and down, warm up a little more, sit so far back your toes have to lift and spread, or maybe they grab the floor a little bit. And then next time you inhale, push down to reach up and dive in on your exhale. Inhale, lift up halfway, shoulders back. Exhale and fold and place your hands, step back to down dog. Notice which foot went first. Play around with the first down dog. Make sure your knuckles take weight so wrists don't have it all. When you're ready for an inhale, come forward to a plank position. Keep going forward and exhale for chaturanga, cobra, or upward facing dog as you inhale. Keep shoulders tucked into your back. Push down stronger where you can. Find a little more lift, maybe. While the shoulders are still back there, dip the chest, bend the elbows a little, lift up through all fours or plank, and head back to down dog. Let out a breath if you need. Keep pressing the hands forward some into the knuckles so wrists don't have all the weight. Lift up high on your toes when ready. Bend your knees to sit back. Decide how you get to your hands to halfway lift. And exhale to fold in. Sit your hips down and rise up when you're ready. Exhale, dive right back in again. Inhale and lift up halfway. Exhale, fold in and step the other foot first. Head back to down dog again. When you're ready, roll forward to plank. Pull up and in. Keep pushing against the floor even as you're lowering down. Cobra or upward facing dog, shoulders back. Keep them back. Wake up upper back muscles. Chaturanga again. Plank. Back to down dog. Let it out if you need to. Move it out. When you're ready, high on your toes. Bend your knees, sit back. Decide how you get to your hands and lift halfway. And fold in. And sit your hips down and rise up. Take a full stretch and then let go. And then we're going to play with a balance sequence. So different than what we were just doing. We'll stay off the hands for a little bit. Bring them together. Thumbs against your chest. Roll your shoulders into your back. Push down with your left leg. Turn your right knee out. Use your toes like they're a little kickstand for a moment. And feel if you can get your left leg, or look, can you get it to be straight up? So that we're not kicking the hip out to the side. Pull in and up, or push down, rebound up. Maybe leave the toes down, maybe slide them up to your calf. Maybe pick up the foot, place it to your inner thigh. Check everything. And then move your hands behind you. You can lace your fingers back there or press them to the back of your hips. Can you keep the pelvis neutral? One side isn't higher than the other. One side isn't more forward or back than the other. Can you grow any taller? That foot is getting warm down there. The leg is working hard. It's going to have to for a little while longer. Or you step out if need be. Take your foot behind you, your right foot, and grab hold with one or both hands. Dip the knee down and lift your chest up. Kick your foot into your hand or hands. Maybe Maybe challenge your balance, look down. Are you still upright or are we falling out to one side? Is that knee swinging out? Can it be right in against the other one? Good, and then release the foot, bring the leg around. You can touch down to the floor at any time. So we're heading into the eagle position or eagle posture. Float the arms out. So we got right leg on top, hopefully, so left arm on top. Double bind the arms if it works okay, and then really work them towards each other, as in like push them into each other. Maybe sit back a little more. Maybe the elbows dip so the shoulders do. Maybe the elbows go forward and the shoulders pull back. Make sure jaw is okay, eyes are okay. When you're ready, unravel. Push both feet to the floor, reach for the ceiling. Dive in, take your time, make sure your feet match. Inhale and lift up halfway. Exhale, fold in, step back to down dog, give it a little pedal. Maybe you feel different on that side. The other leg, the one that was being strong, needs a little more maybe. And speaking of, lift your left leg up behind you. Push further back. See if, like, even look, can you tip the hips so that they match? So your left toes are still facing the floor. And then lift up high on your toes. Bend your right knee so that you sit back. The one you're standing on, bend it so you sit back like you're a little slingshot, a big slingshot. And then look forward, push, and step all the way through. Spin your right foot flat, out to the side and push down, come up and make a warrior two. Maybe fidget, rearrange. Sink down, we're making that left leg strong and warm again. Good, and then press it towards straight without buckling at the knee. Turn your right heel more out and kick your hips that way. Reach forward over the front leg and open to triangle. Try not to lean on that leg, it already has had a lot to do. Can you push your hips more back, out into the outside of your right hip? See if you can get the IT band stretch on that side. Really push the hips backwards. More weight over your back leg, so you're also free to reach open over your front leg. Where does your head need to be so your neck is okay? Can you be pushing forward through your front foot instead of just pushing down at the knee? Good, and then start to bend that knee more. Turn towards the floor, lift up your back toes. Rock a little if need be. Maybe lift the hands out in front, step to a halfway lift. Then fold in. Sit your hips down and then come all the way up. And bring your hands down and together. So right leg's turn. Push down with it, stand on it. Turn the left knee open. Come up on tiptoes, push with them. While it's still a little easier, see if you can align your right hip directly over your ankle. It will have the tendency to kick out, especially if that's what you tend to do when you stand. You can stay there with toes or slide the foot up on your calf or lift it, place it to your inner thigh. See if you can still keep the hips level with one another. And then take the hands behind when you're ready. Roll the shoulders back. Can you ungrip where you don't need to right now? Some places might need to. Like really wake up your right inner thigh, press into the foot if it's there. Can you grow any taller? Push down to get a lift. You can always touch down, you can always breathe a little more if it's holding. Not that you need to make the breath bigger, just make sure it's happening. When you're ready to change, put the left foot behind, grab it with one or both hands, kick the foot into the hands, and lift up and away. Maybe again, challenge yourself to look at what's going on down there. Try not to death grip anything like the floor or your jaw. Good, and when you're ready, let go of that. Bring the leg around, left leg on top, so arms float out and right arm goes on top. Toes can be touching down here, you have a little bit of support. Plus it means you're sitting further down, so you're getting into the hips a little more. Like when we were in that chair pose, notice if you're in a big arch or a rounded back, can you get a little more neutral so it's easier to breathe. When you're ready, both feet to the floor, reach for the ceiling, and then slowly dive in. Make sure your feet match down there. Lift up halfway when ready. Exhale and fold, step all the way back to down dog. Give it a little walk. Check on hands. And then lift up the right leg. Push back and out through the heel. Take a peek and your hips face the floor. So when you neutralize the pelvis, you can get into the other surrounding muscles more, like your hamstrings. You can get the hip flexor to be more online, like neutral online. Push way back. And then lift up high on your left toes. Bend your left knee so that you sit back, or like you're being pulled back like a slingshot, so that you can travel forward. Spin the back foot flat. Push down and come up and over, make a warrior two. Make your fidgets, let the feet tell you where they need to be the best foundation for you. Don't need to make them do something. Feel it out. Where do you feel most stable? Where do feet foundation go so that your shoulders are okay? And then the front leg, again, press it towards straight without caving at the knee. Turn the back heel out so your hips kick that way. Like this, right hip kicks down, or left hip kicks up and out. Reach forward and open to triangle. Can you send the hips more back, almost like they're being pulled towards your back foot? Someone's got hold of them back there, pulling them over your back leg so it's weighted. Front foot, push it into the floor so we're not falling at the knee. Upper body has more freedom when the legs are more steady. Where is your neck? How is it? Where is it holding? When you're ready, bend the front knee, land your fingers, lift up on your back toes, give a little rock, step forward, halfway lift, fold in. Check your feet match and then dip your hips, rise all the way up, and then dive right back in. Lift up halfway. Fold as you exhale, decide which foot goes. Go back to down dog. Skip it, hang out there, or inhale forward to plank. Exhale for chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or upward dog. Keep shoulders back. Stay aware of all the support you have to get to chaturanga, then to plank, then back to down dog. Let it out if you need to. When you're ready, lift your right leg up. Bend your left knee again so you can sit back. Bring the knee forward between the hands. Go up as high as you can, and then kick it out beside the foot so it's on its baby toe edge. And get up on fingertips if you can, so you can check that your legs are doing more of the work. Flip your back foot to its big toe edge, its inside edge, and then lift up into a fallen triangle. So similar to the triangle, the legs are far apart, but this front foot is really pulling up into flexion. Back foot might be flat, but it's turned out. Maybe you can get so strong in the legs you don't need the hands as much. Find the place for your neck, your head again. And then turn towards the floor. Pull that front foot a little more into flexion. So the toes are facing back in the direction from where they came. Back up on your back toes. Can you pull in between the legs so much your hands get light? Maybe to float. Maybe to leave the left hand down. Of course, you can have a block here. And the right hand might reach up. Or it goes back around near your hip or on your sit bone, and you press back into that. So we're stretching out the IT band here. How's your breathing? Don't blame me, blame Ian Finn. This is his IT love. And then come out slow. Land your hands where you need them. Wiggle the foot to center, or maybe you can pick it up. Step it back, downward dog. When you're ready, lift your left leg up. Lift up on your right toes and bend that knee. Sit way back. So your hand gets lighter, both of them, but left one more so you can lift it as you step through. Oh, my bad. Let's go back. Lift it. Keep it up. Put it over on the other side. Those things happen. I'm not going to edit. Pull back with the toes so it's on its baby toe edge. Yeah, and then flip the other foot to the side, pardon me, and then maybe you can lift up the arm. So similar to triangle pose, this hand might be quite weighted, but can you give it more to the legs? It's your left hand. Pull legs together, even though they're wide apart. How's it going? You got this. Come down slow. Bring the foot in a little bit, flex it more as you come up onto your back toes. This front foot is really on its baby toe edge. Don't let the ankle bone be falling to the floor. Squeeze between the thighs so your hands can float. Legs are being really strong for you. Then maybe the right hand stays down. Your left hand reaches up or helps you draw the hip back. The knee can bend. Don't let it hurt the knee. Feeling it up in the IT band, outer hip area. Check all parts. What parts are getting a little extra that they don't need right now? Probably the IT band. But so inner thigh squeeze. And then slowly help yourself out. Wiggle the foot back, lift, step back to down dog. Last one. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale chaturanga. Inhale cobra or upward dog. Exhale to release. Lay, rest, relax the feet, like the heels flop open. If you need it after those, take your hands behind, lace the fingers, open the shoulders, maybe just that, maybe lift. Release and flop. We're going to log roll from here. Just roll right over on your back. So tuck one arm over to the opposite side, roll over, scooch back on your mat. Set your feet to match your hips. Press your shoulders down into the floor. Go robot arms for a moment. Make sure your feet are hip width down there, right underneath your knees. And then find a little bit of core connection and lift your hips. You can always tuck something under there if you have a block or a bolster and would rather have a supported bridge. Or you could push down with legs and shoulders so much, maybe your hips lift enough that your hands can get under there. Alternatively, of course, they can stay down. You can put them more to the floor, but make sure shoulders don't come up, they're still down. You might be able to get your fingers far enough down under your heels. So you can push your heels down into your hands, lift your chin, lift your pubic joint. Make sure you can breathe. You never have to go higher than what feels okay. And then when you're ready to come down, set the shoulders out a little bit, roll down. So belly squeezes in, take your time. Keep breathing. Try to feel the whole back touch the floor before the bum touches the floor, so that your back is more flat. It's released the arch. And then just rest, and hands can come onto belly or down at pelvis. Allow a letting go. This is a constructive rest pose, purposely to release. Notice where there might be gripping. We don't have to squeeze things out. You can just let them go. And widen your arms. Widen your feet a little more. Really, you can find whatever spot is perfect for them and start some windshield wipering. You can always change it up, and your knees and head can go opposite of each other. And then let your body take over. What does it really need to do before Shavasana? Do you need a big stretch, a tight squeeze, a bit of a tantrum, pounding on the floor, or flailing limbs? Totally welcome. The nervous system does those for a reason when we're little. Maybe you're ready for a Shavasana, maybe you're heading off into something else, but hopefully you can give yourself a little bit of time. Let your body pour over the floor or any other props that you put under. For this moment, you don't have to hold yourself up or hold yourself together. You can spill. Notice any spots that can be more soft. Let your breath have more room to play within you. And begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Move your wrists and your ankles. Gently rock your head side to side. And take a big stretch. And choose a side to roll over to. Curl into fetal position. Give yourself a moment there so your back settles, so your nervous system feels safe. And when you're ready to come up, push on the floor, climb up. Create a comfortable seat. Add something under if need be. And then wrap yourself up, give a big hug. And switch, put the other arm on top. While you're at it, pat yourself on the back. And stay in the hug if it feels good, or create another mudra or position with your hands. And thank you for sharing your practice with